I want to introduce you to the ideas and principles of relational capacity. I'm going to talk about when you work with complex problems, complex issues, complex challenges, where coordinated solution matters, and I want to explain what is relational capacity and how does that help you solve complex issues. Why it matters? Well, we know that when we look at welfare organizations, that high task complexity is what we focus more and more on. That is citizen, client, patients with complex health and social service issues that where a lot of people need to work with them. If you combine that with increased specialization among the professionals, where more knowledge means that we get more groups with more specialized knowledge, then we just increase complexity. So you have on one side the complexity around the clients, the patients, and the other side, when they meet the organization that need to help them, then they meet with another complexity. And on top of that, we have a tendency to organize organizations that are structured in silos that create a sub-optimization where each set of organizational units, they have their own goals, their own targets, sometimes their own budget. That means that the citizen, client, patients, wherever we call them, with the most complex needs, they are met with a less coordinated effort. That in total means that we often waste a lot of resources. That's human resources, professional know-how, and even financial resources. What is relational capacity? Well, the definition of relational capacity is the ability to solve complex problems and dynamic problems together when and where needed. So that means that when the group of professionals is needed to work together to solve these problems, their ability to coordinate and react quickly to solve these problems. In other words, what we do here is that we move from the organized organization with its hierarchies and silos as we used to see organization to focusing on the network and the collaboration and relationship around the client. That could be around a single client with complex problems where a number of professionals need to work together to solve this client's problem, or it can be around a group of clients or patients where different groups of professionals need to work together to solve these problems. So what we do here is move from the organization of the professionals to the organization of the single client, of the group of clients, and look at what is our ability together as professionals to find solutions to these problems when and where needed. Because we know if we can put the different kinds of knowledge together and do it quickly, we could solve the problems with less input of resources and early on, and often before the complexity gets higher. When we look at relational capacity, of course we look at from the citizens or the client perspective, do they feel they get coordinated solution? Do they feel that the different professionals that are around them are supporting them in a way that there's coherence in their life? The second thing is among the employees, do they have coordinated work processes so that one part of the process fits with the other part of the process, so that the people involved in these processes coordinate their work, coordinate their goals, know about what other people do in a way that clients experience coordinated solutions. And on top of that, what we also look at is the leaders. What is the behavior of leaders? Do they coordinate the way they organize their organization? They put together their work processes in a way that support their employees to work together, or do they keep to their own silos and work separately? So that in total is relational capacity. So what we're looking at here is a system where we put the client or the patient, the citizen on the top of things and see what really matters to them is that they get their life together. And what we look at is a set of relationship between them and the professionals. We also look at how is it that professionals work across professional boundaries, organizational silos, and we also look at among the leaders, how do they work across these boundaries to help their employees solve their problems. And finally, we're also looking at the relationship between employees and leaders to see, do the employees feel that their leaders is engaged in creating clarity, helping them solve problems, and involving them in a way that they can be engaged in finding the right solutions. So let's take a look at the evidence we got from the research that we do and other people are doing and the practice that we've been engaged in. First of all, if we look at the relationship between citizen, patients, clients, and professional, and compare them to correlate that with the relationship among professionals, then we can see, not just in our work in Scandinavia, but from studies from a lot of different countries around the world, that there is a correlation between what we call relational coordination, that is the quality of the working together across professional boundaries, and the quality and efficiency of working with the clients. Second, we also find that if we correlate the data we got on coordination among professionals and their experience of their leaders supporting what they do, then we find the same kind of pattern, that if leaders work together, support employees, create common goals and strategies, are engaged in solving problems, then we find that employees are much better working together across boundaries and solving the problems of the clients. So, to put together, what we're looking at here is we're focusing on the whole system's ability to work together. That is the relationship between the client and the professionals. That is the relationship among professionals across boundaries. That is the relationship between leaders, again, across boundaries. And it is the relationship between leaders and employees. That is the whole system we're looking at when we're talking about relational capacity. And when this system, when this set of relationship works very well, we can see that there's a higher ability to solve complex issues when and where needed.